Hello everyone, here are the latest market news on January the 29th, 2020. Apple hit record profit in third quarter. American tech giant Apple hit all-time records revenue and profits for the final 3 months of 2019 due to strong sales of the iPhone 11. Such figures were seen amid concerns over the impact of the coronavirus on the Chinese economy. Apple's $91.8 billion in quarterly revenue surpassed analyst expectations thanks to $56 billion in iPhone sales. This strong performance marks a rebound for the company, which suffered a rare setback in holiday sales 1 year ago. Earnings per share of $4.99 and net income of $22.3 billion also marked all-time records for the company. The stock price surged 3% in after-hours trading in response to the strong data. Meanwhile, Apple chief executive Tim Cook faced investors' questions over company's reliance on China amid the outbreak of the coronavirus. China is both a market for Apple products and a critical part of its supply chain. The iPhone's maker said they restricted employee travel to business-critical closed one retail store in China and shortened hours in other stores in order to institute additional precautions such as deep cleaning and temperature check for staff. UK housing market shows strong growth in January. Industry data showed on Wednesday that UK house prices climbed in January at their fastest annual rate since November 2018, adding more signs of a modest rise in the housing market and broader economic confidence since December's election. Nationwide Building Society reported that annual house price growth in January increased to 1.9% from December's 1.4%, surpassing economists' forecasts. Meantime, house prices in January alone soared by 0.5% on the month, up from 0.1% in December and about the average forecast of a 0.3% rise. The Bank of England will need to weigh up signs of a recent economic pickup against an overall weakening growth at the end of last year before meeting on Thursday. Fed's rate decision and overnight lending in focus. The U.S. Federal Reserve will conclude its latest policy meeting on Wednesday, with interest rates is likely to remain unchanged. However, officials may also discuss possible changes to how they manage the U.S. Central Bank's key overnight borrowing rate. Since the Fed cut rates in October, its third and final reduction in borrowing costs in 2019, policymakers have agreed to keep their target policy rate in the current range of 1.50% and 1.75% until there is some significant change in the economic outlook. U.S. President Donald Trump on Tuesday also repeated his call for even lower rates. The Republican president lambasted the Fed and its chief Jerome Powell in 2018 and 2019 for maintaining a monetary policy that he regarded as too tight. The Fed is due to release its policy statement at 2 p.m. EST. Powell is scheduled to hold a news conference half an hour later. Asian shares fall, European and U.S. stocks rise. Asian stock markets continued to fall on Wednesday as a spike in new Chinese virus cases drove Hong Kong shares lower and added to worries about the economic impact of the outbreak. Hong Kong shares dropped 2.4% on their first session after a 2.5 trading day break for Lunar New Year, led by declines in financial services, real estate, and consumer goods companies. Amid this, MSCI's broadest index of Asia-Pacific shares outside Japan fell 0.41%, while other regional stocks showed some signs of the recovery, and with Chinese stock futures in Singapore rose 1.79%, and Japan's Nikkei index surged 0.62%. Australia's main benchmark also traded higher, adding 0.53%. European futures increased 0.22% in early trading, and U.S. stock futures were up 0.27%.